myself. Don't wanna be all by myself. How's it going, everybody? It's me, Kev. As you can tell, I am all by myself. Joe is on assignment, as they say. So what's going to happen here is I'm going to be going to you guys a lot. We're going to do a lot of, I'll take a lot of your questions. Let's do a lot of wrestling questions. Let's do a lot of, oh, that's me. I got to turn me down. I am all by myself. So yeah, let's do a bunch of questions. Let's talk about wrestling. Let's talk about whatever. I'll answer pretty much an AMA as we go talk about this week's in wrestling. Welcome as always to Kat, to Ryan Earl, World Wizard, Magic Dragon. That's such a mouthful. Spartan, welcome. Craig, who I'm starting to think Mr. Anderson knows considerably more about pro wrestling than I do, which great admiration, Craig. Mr. Franco, hello. So I want to go over just a couple of the high spots of Raw for me. And I think for a lot of people, it was the return of the curb stomp by Mr. Seth Rollins, which we are calling the Blackout now. It was very fun to see. Braun went crazy again, got fired, got rehired. I saw the first match of the Mixed Match Challenge, Thomas. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Braun Strowman took out Michael Cole. The Revival came back. Again, they had a squash match, and they had a fun little promo where they were like, hey, we're not sports entertainers. We're professional wrestlers. And a bunch of guys like me were like, he said professional wrestlers, because we're not supposed to say that. What else? What's up, Matt? Goldberg, mentioned as the first member of the year of the Hall of Fame this year. Matt Hardy is promising that his family will be coming soon. It should be very, very fun. Jason Jordan, proving his worth to Mr. Seth Rollins by doing a little cheat ski. He was doing a little bit of cheat ski in the main event. And the other big news on Raw, and I don't think they said it outright on Raw, but Paige, it looks like she might be done. That neck injury is taking its toll on her, and it seems like it was kind of a freak accident, but it kind of sucks. She's so young, and she's got there she is. We'll see. It looks really bad for her, but here's hoping that she can take care of business, come back. Next week on Raw, it is the big one. It's the 25 years of Raw, which includes Chris Jericho. And it's so cool. It's got to be so cool for him because, just a couple of weeks ago, he was in New Japan. He started a new angle in New Japan, and he's got to have a great relationship with Vince, where Vince will be like, yeah, sure, do your thing and come back and be the guy. Have fun. So I think that's really, really great. Feel free again to do some. She's younger than. Well, how old are you, Matt? Matt says she's younger than me, referring to Paige, but that's very arbitrary. It's kind of like when you go to the. Let me tell you something. This will bring back grinds my gears just a little bit. When I go to the gas station, Spartan, we're talking about the TV wrestling right now. That's the topic of this channel as it stands. But I go to the gas station, and the door is locked, and it'll say, "I'll be back in 30 minutes," which is great. Hey, thanks for telling me you'll be back in 30 minutes. But you don't say when you wrote the note. So it could be any time from 1 minute from now to 29 minutes from now. And use your heads. If you're going to leave a note, say back at 1:30. That grinds my gears. Watch it while you poop. What's shaking, gang? You guys got to check out that YouTube channel. Watch it while you poop. A lot of delightful things that you watch while you poop. Matt's 31 and a half. So yes, she is. Paige is younger than you. Yeah, she'll probably end up managing Absolution. I wonder how long she'll want to do that before it gets old for her. There we go. Yeah, we do lots of stuff. A lot of Power Rangers on this channel. People seem to like the Power Rangers. So yeah, next week is Raw. We got so many people coming. a bunch of former lady superstars. I almost said divas, but we're not settled on that word anymore, which makes me very happy. So tonight on SmackDown, it seemed to be a big build for the U.S. title final, which was initially going to I believe the final was going to be at the Royal Rumble, but they did it early. And first we had Jinder beat Xavier, and I was really pushing for Xavier. I fucking love that guy. But it didn't happen. He was beaten by Jinder Mahal. Bobby Roode beat Mojo Rawley. And in the end, Bobby Roode is our new United States champion. Both Daniel Bryan and Shane McMahon were at ringside for that match. They showed up, presented the title, and it was fun. It was good for Bobby. We'll see what's ahead for them. I wonder why they pulled the trigger early, because it would have been a great moment for the Royal Rumble. But Mr. Ralph Oppel, who I'm pretending I don't know, hi Ralph, says he hasn't watched wrestling in a while. If he was going to watch one wrestling program next week, should it be SmackDown or Raw? It should absolutely be Raw, because it's going to be the 25 years. You're going to see a lot of old school guys. Maybe some surprises show up on Raw. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's one of the few times where 3 hours is probably just about right, as opposed to every week where we go, I want to take a nap. We shouldn't want to take a nap next week. It's going to be a lot of fun. And then, of course, the week after that, within like 6 days, the Royal Rumble, just around the corner. Hoping for some surprises there, too. Matt has Go Pack Go. I got to tell you, Matt, I'm a Minnesota guy. I'm not a huge football guy, but I'm definitely a Minnesota guy. And I did make everybody at work watch the Vikings game in the break room, and they were all happy that we did. It was very exciting. How about the end of that, huh? Thomas Franco is going to SmackDown live next Tuesday, which is going to be the last SmackDown before the Royal Rumble. So the hype train should be in full gear. We have been having internet issues here, but I think this will be fine. Matt points out that the first time Paige was in a pro wrestling ring, it was when she was in her mom's tummy. She didn't know that she was pregnant when she was having her matches. So, yeah, I think that's pretty early. She's one of the first people to have a match inside. I don't know, Spartan. Spartan, are you trying to set up your own channel? Is that what's going on here? Are we your research firm? I appreciate the interaction, though. I don't know. I think it Vi Queens. That's not very nice. That's not nice at all. I think it varies from show to show. I think, man, the people love those Power Rangers. People watch the heck out of any of those shows. This one, still a little struggling. Not many people know Mr. Kevin Kittredge. That's me. So if I was more famous, it would be more fun. My favorite moment from Raw in general, Craig Anderson's favorite moment from Raw of all time is the Nexus invasion. I got to tell you, being around during the Attitude Era, and it's great that they show those clips, because This Is Your Life with The Rock and Mick Foley definitely comes to mind. When Mick brings out supposedly The Rock's old high school girlfriend, and he talks about this night they were on a date, and The Rock moves in for second base, and you cut The Rock off at second base. It's such a jerk thing to say, but it was so funny. There was the night that Triple H came back from his injury in the beginning of 2000. It was very emotional. We were all very excited about it. The DX invasion of WCW was amazing. The match, the DX reunion, that's your favorite moment in history, is when DX reunited in Raw 1000? I mean, it was fun, but how about those initial DX moments? That's when I'm telling you, when Triple H and Shawn Michaels fought, and they were both bad guys, and it was for the European title, and they kind of did the finger poke of doom before the finger poke of doom, and then Trips went back and forth from ring to ring to ring to ring to ring, and then the weakest splash in history. That was great. Speaking of title matches, though, how about fucking when Mick Foley won the title. The crowd went absolutely apeshit when Stone Cold's music hit. It was amazing. Such amazing moments. Yeah, Matt, you spelled Vikings wrong. Really wrong. And I don't like your attitude. Anyway, that's mine. I'd love to hear more of yours. Okay, Craig loves them all. Good call. So we're also going to point out, as you noticed in the headline, WWE has signed Ricochet, War Machine, and Candice LeRae. And I'm sorry for the coughing, by the way. My cold is 98% done. I don't know a whole lot about War Machine. Look at Candice LeRae. She's just lovely. Johnny Gargano is a lucky guy. Yeah, they are married. Johnny's doing great in NXT. I would imagine she'll go to NXT first. Maybe she'll show up in the Rumble. Who knows? But Ricochet I saw perform at PWG. Who is this? Is that Ricochet?
I've got that listed as War Machine.
Oh, that's not War Machine is actually a tag team from Ring of Honor. This guy does alpha male. Good for you, buddy. That's fantastic. The formation of the Ministry of Darkness. Yeah, Joe's on assignment, Ryan. Sorry, it's just me, Daddy-O. There's Ricochet, yeah. Anthony Barr. Is that who that was that who's Anthony Barr? Was that War Machine? Is that what you're telling me, Matt? No, wait a second. You're talking about the Vikings again. Quit being a jerk. You can be a jerk as much as you want. I'm a huge jerk. Yeah, Brothers of Destruction reunion. That'd be fun. Have Kane and Taker hang out again. But about Ricochet, I saw him in PWG. There's War Machine. They're mean. Man, I mean, we just see War Machine against the Bludgeon Brothers, right? It's just going to be, I'm not going to be able to tell who is who. All white guys look the same to me, but when you get rid of their hair and add beards, forget about it. I saw Ricochet in PWG, the only show that I went to, and I knew right away this guy's going to be a fucking star. So whether he goes to NXT or whether I would imagine he'll show up, he'll be in NXT. He's a star. He's going to be huge. Now, Candice LeRae, the only time I've actually seen Candice LeRae in person, I was doing this TV show. I'm a struggling actor, right? And I was doing background. I got a message that I was doing background, and it's for this TV show called Betas, which I'd never heard of before, but it's on Amazon. I don't think it's on anymore. But the casting notice was for a professional wrestling fan. I'm like, winner. And they said that if I had any wrestling T-shirts of the following wrestlers, that I could bring them. And unfortunately, I did not have them. But they were all indie guys. It was Colt Cabana, Jericho's debut, of course, Thomas. That was amazing. I labeled my VHS tape Jericho Night before he showed up because I knew it was going to be huge, and I was right. So I go in, and they said it was at the American Legion in Reseda. And I was like, holy shit. It's like I'm going to a PWG show, but I'm not going to a PWG show. And I show up, and, it's a couple of hundred guys my age, whatever. Nobody else was really a wrestling fan. I was like one of the few legitimate wrestling fans there. But I saw Brian Kendrick. I saw Willie Mack. I saw fucking Young Bucks there. And it was before I really even knew who the Young Bucks were. I knew that they were exciting. I knew that I was supposed to know who they were. So the first scene they had us set up for was I was going to be standing in line waiting for some merchandise by Candice LeRae. I was going to buy some of Candice LeRae's merchandise in the background of this show, Betas. And sitting ahead of me was this fucking guy who was just a dork. He was just a dork, and he was not a wrestling fan. And he was kind of trying to, hit on Candice LeRae, because we were forced to sit there. She was forced to sit at her table, and we were just standing there. So he'd be like, hey, how's it going? Do you do this a lot? No? You don't do background a lot? Yada, yada, yada. And he's talking to her. And he's looking at her merchandise, and she's got, bumper stickers and shit like that. And he says, so do they make this stuff up for you? And she was like, no, this is mine. And he's like, you're a wrestler? She says, yeah, I'm a professional wrestler. And he was so confused. He was so confused that she was a real professional wrestler. Maybe because she's very attractive. Look at her. She's so cute. So that was really neat. But then we go back to another scene, and in this scene, I'm waiting in line for the Young Bucks autograph. And we do the scene, and they're sitting there, and I go through, and they pretend to sign something for me, and they pretend to sign another one for me. And it was really, really neat. Even though I didn't know who they were, I knew that they were legendary. And later on, the first shot of this episode is they had the camera inside the ring. They had the camera in the corner shooting upwards. And Willie Mack, look at those guys. Willie Mack was on the top rope, and he was jumping over the camera. The first shot is him going, oh. And they did it once, and they wanted to keep doing it. And Willie Mack, I didn't get this. Now, I'm not a wrestler. I don't know why this was a challenge for him, but he was like, I don't know if I can keep doing that. And he was doing the splash onto nothing. And he insisted that they bring in a bunch of like blankets and shit for him to land on. And they'd only done it once, and they were only looking for a couple more takes. He was like, I don't know. So they did it. We shut down from production for a while they got a bunch of mats and shit together. And I was just kind of hanging out with the Young Bucks there. And I went to Matt Jackson, and I said, tell you what, help me out here. He's done this splash many times before, yes? He's like, oh yeah, does it all the time. I'm sure he misses the splash sometime, right? Yeah, I think he probably has. Yeah. And I said, why doesn't he go forth pretending that he's missing the splash? That way we can get the shot, and it's something that he does. And Matt was like, you know what? That's a good question. I don't know. You'll have to ask him, which was very diplomatic of him. Now, this is a few years ago. This is probably like 4 years ago, maybe 3-4 years ago. And I remember sitting back, and Joey Ryan was there. Brian Kendrick was there. And I remember the Young Bucks doing the too sweet to each other. And it was before the Bullet Club. And I was really confused, and I was surprised that these guys are clearly huge NWO fans and DX fans. And it was weird to see them take that on, to just own the too sweet. And they kept doing it, and they were laughing, and they loved it. And it was fun to know that they were huge wrestling fans. And here I was like, this isn't going to help your career, pretending to be someone else. I'm an idiot. But that's my story about betas. CM Punk's pipe bomb, of course. They were lit when they happened. Exactly, Mr. Franco. Also, to answer you, Thomas, I did see the mixed match challenge on Facebook. It's kind of interesting because it's just like a match. It's just like a tournament. I don't know what the excitement is about it. I don't know why we're supposed to be so hot about it. But it was weird in the commentary. They kept talking about social media. Natalia's cat has so many followers, and so it's what it's all about. Get with it. I guess. Stone Cold's beer truck, of course. Yeah, Thomas, that was a great moment. I think I'm mostly out of material here. So I'm going to rely on you guys to shoot me some questions, shoot me some ideas. We're talking about the history of Monday Night Raw. A lot of great Raw moments. It was so hot. The crowd was so hot. This is Old Man Kittredge talking about the Attitude Era. But I mean, everybody brought a sign. You just watch one of those episodes, and everybody. When the New Age Outlaws started doing their Ladies and Gentlemen, Boys and Girls, the crowd sang along completely the whole darn time. And it was everybody. There were no matches that went by without the crowd being hot for it all for a long period of time. It'd be nice to get that back. Brother Love's going to be on next week. I would assume as Brother Love. Yeah, Mick Foley winning the championship was definitely a feel-good moment. I love how he hid the title from his kids because it was a taped show, and they watched Raw together. and they watched him win, and then he pulled it out like from under the couch and said, "Here's the title." That's a great story. I don't know if you read Mick's books, but they're good. Josh, do you have any thoughts? Any comments?
Take a look at what I just posted in the chat.
Would you guys come over to our trip? Kevin and Joe take on Kelly and Jezzer in one of the WWE 2K games. Would you watch that? I would play it. I love playing those games. Does SmackDown need another championship so Raw and SmackDown can be even? What are we missing? Franco would watch. Are they not even? We both got a world title, tag titles, Intercontinental versus U.S., women versus women. What are we missing? Why is it not equal? Why is it not even, Franco? Help me out. Craig, of course. Ric Flair versus Mr. Perfect, the retirement match where the loser leaves WWF match where Flair lost to Mr. Perfect. I think there was a good deal of blood, too. I remember being really disappointed that Flair was leaving. Going back to WCW. I think they're even. Yeah, Craig would watch us. Help me out, Josh. Who are Kelly and Jezzer? Is Kelly the gal with the...
Kelly's blue hair.
Okay.
She'll be coming in after you for the Pachimari Network, which is our Overwatch League.
Is she legitimately coming into this studio again? Okay.
And Jezzer is the short guy. You may not have seen him before.
Now, have these people played the WWE games?
Jezzer, probably. Kelly, I'm not sure.
Okay. Well, hey,
there are video games even.
If I'm going to win, then the cruiserweight. I guess it does count as okay. Good call, Matt. The cruiserweight championship is on Raw, which makes it uneven. You're right. Well, I mean, I don't think they need another cruiserweight title. I think at some point I can see the cruiserweight bouncing between the shows. Carlos, or Watch It While You Poop 2, wants to get back into watching wrestling. What should I start watching? It'll be great to watch Monday Night Raw this Monday because it's got all our favorites, maybe a couple of surprises or two, and they're going to be intertwined with current storylines. So we'll see. We'll see who Stone Cold Steve Austin gives the stunner to. I didn't see the live stream from Ace Comic-Con, and Sting was doing his panel at Ace Comic-Con in Arizona, and I caught a glimpse of it, and it was just one of those moments where the guy was saying to Sting, "I just want to thank you for all the memories," and yada yada yada, which is obviously nice, but I didn't want to see it, and I was busy. I had a lot of errands to run. What was a big thing that was there any news that came out of it, Ryan? See, Franco thinks we need another title on SmackDown. I don't think that's true. I think I would prefer if the cruiserweight title bounced between the shows, personally. But hey, I'm just one guy. We're gonna go 5 minutes. We're going to go 5 minutes heads up. Okay, that's cool. Craig points out that I'm too old to be having crushes on young girls in the WWE. Yet here's Ric Flair. He's been, as Craig says, smashing hot young chicks for like 30 years. There are many ways in which I would like to emulate Mr. Flair. Maybe not so much in the personal life. Nothing against Nate, but man. I'll tell you about Nate. As I tell you this story, maybe hit a couple more comments and then we'll call it. But we'll finish up with this story. It's the Target Center back in Minneapolis. It's about 1995. It's that time where Ric Flair was supposedly retired by Hulk Hogan. And I went to a house show at the Target Center with a couple of buddies. And back at the time, man, you think I look like a scuzzball now. I had long black hair. I was wearing a fucking long jacket, not a duster, just a trench coat, Metallica t-shirt. I looked like a scuzzball. And the show was over, and we were leaving, and I saw a door, and I was like, this looks like a door that I want to open. So I went in the door. My friends were too scared. It was the end of the show. What are they going to do? They could kick us out? They were too scared to come in. So I go through this door, and I'm backstage. I'm in the garage. I'm walking through the garage. I see Nick Bockwinkel getting into his car. I see Jean-Paul Levesque and Sensational Sherry getting into their car. And it was amazing. It was just amazing. And I walked towards where the actual backstage area was, and I saw Arn Anderson, and then I saw Ric Flair. And my fucking jaw dropped, right? And I went up to Ric Flair in the backstage area, looking like a scuzzball. And I went up to him, and I shook his hand. I said, Mr. Flair, it's great to meet you. You're the greatest of all time. We look forward to seeing you back in the ring. And he said, well, thank you. Thank you very much. Who were you with? And I said, oh, well, nobody really. I saw this door, and I went through the door, and now I'm in backstage. He said, okay, well, I'm afraid I'm going to have to ask you to leave the backstage area. I said, absolutely, absolutely. And I turned around, and as I walked away, 2 feet from him, I yelled, I just got kicked out of backstage by Ric Flair. And it was an amazing moment. And the funny thing is, at San Diego Comic-Con, I saw Ric Flair, and I told him that story, and he laughed. He gave me a fist bump, and his wife loved it. She loved the story. So there we go. That'll do it. I would love a women's tag team title. I think that, and have it balance between the two shows. Absolutely. I got lucky, Craig. I've been around. I snuck back. I got more stories. I'm not going to tell them tonight. I'm kind of a blabbermouth tonight. I would like to thank everybody for sticking around, watching me on my own. I think Joe would probably like to point out that TeePublic has #show shirts that you can check out. Check them out at, TeePublic. I was going to just officially call us out, but our producer had to stand away for just a moment. Okay, here we go. Thanks again. Have a great night. See you next week. Howdy doodly do.